So the 2015 Commodore Storm Wagon has the Mylink unit, which is pretty much getting past its sell by date. There's no Android Auto, no maps, well, barring the Holden map, which is now well out of date. So I decided to install the Aliexpress unit. I know there's a couple of options out there, but I thought I'd go with that and give a record of how the deinstall and the installation of the new unit, and also the function of the new unit, compares to the Mylink unit. This is the Aliexpress unit that I've ordered, the 4GB 64GB memory unit. $4.98 as at today's prices, with about $142 for postage. Impressively, 9 days after ordering, the products arrived, which basically is the head unit with the casing and 3 sets of cables. No instructions, but I was expecting that. So just a question now of taking out the old unit and hopefully plugging in the new one and see how we go. As I mentioned, with the packaging there's no instructions. So what I've done is I've just on the desk worked out which cables I think I can connect, just basically based on the plugs. So for instance, here we've got the 4G antenna, which screws into a plug there. Similarly, here's the GPS one, and that screws into the socket marked GPS. There's a couple of USB connectors. So this one here has got 4 pins, and so that connects on the back of the unit to the socket that's got 4 pins. I'll just loosely put that in there. Here's another USB. This one has 6 pins, and that will connect into the socket there with 6 pins. So again, I'll just loosely line that up. Okay. Here we have what I believe is to be the aerial antenna. So that would go into the socket there. And I'm assuming this will connect to a plug coming out of the back of the Mylink unit. So I'm not going to connect that in just yet. The external mic came separately, but I found a cable that says mic. So I've attached it to that. I'll work out where this unit has to be plugged into. I think it will be plugged into this cable, which is coming out of the head unit itself. The main cable, which is that block there, this plug here will connect to the plug on the back of the unit, just there. All right, and that's probably all I can work out at this stage. I'm just connecting up loosely. One more, there is a camera one here. So this is marked camera, so I'm assuming this will connect up to a unit at the back of the vehicle, and I'm assuming this 10-pin connector will go in there. So as I said, it's relatively straightforward, but time will tell once I've got the old unit out and checked what cables are coming out from the Mylink unit. Apologies for the quality of the video, but it's really just trying to set the scene as to what's ahead in terms of trying to wire these things into your car. So here are all the components just laid out, ready for installation. It's going to be a bit of a jigsaw to work out what goes where, and I'm sure I should be able to work things out. So trim removal, as per other videos that I've shown how to remove the trim. Basically they just pry off, and then I've got to undo these 4 screws to get the Mylink unit and the air conditioning unit out. So yep, undone the 4 screws, and then I'm just going to take off those cables. So that's the air conditioning unit and the head unit removed. Okay, not an issue, but not expected was I have to actually remove this trim and the vents from the old Mylink unit and transpose them across to the new unit. So you're better off doing that before you start wiring up any of your cables to the car. Installing the unit didn't take that long. I managed to work out which plugs connected to which plugs on the vehicle. It looks a mess. I've tried to tidy up some of the cables. I did get a bit stumped on one plug which comes with the unit, which is basically this one, which comes with the new unit, and I had no idea what to plug it into. I was trying to put it into one of the existing harness plugs and it didn't seem to work. Anyway, I've left it disconnected. I've got no idea what this plug does. If anyone does know, let me know, but I've left it disconnected. It doesn't seem to be affecting any of the functions of the unit. So I'm now going to put the unit back in. I've put the antenna, you won't be able to see it. The GPS antenna is just taped under there, and the 4G antenna is just taped up here. There's plenty of room for cables. So the install is complete. It didn't take as long as I thought, and wasn't as hard as I didn't think it was going to be. Quite impressed with the unit. I've managed to pair 2 phones to it. Everything's working as it should be. The steering wheel controls all work well. The sound, I think, is actually better than the Mylink unit. To me, it's almost like the Mylink unit is suffocating the sound that's coming to the speakers. All the air conditioning controls work. I haven't got the car turned on, so if I turn the car on, you'll see all the air conditioning controls come up as they should do. What else? Really, it's very intuitive to use. Got all your apps, so I'm looking forward to seeing long term how it performs. Not worried about the fact there's no buttons there. It's actually quite nice to be able to rest your hand and not have any sort of knobs in the way. Maps all work fine, which is a big issue for us. That's what we were trying to do, was to get the maps working. As I mentioned, there's got equalizer. The sound's really very good. So that's the end of this report. Hopefully it's been of use to some of you, and we'll see how we go.